Today we are diving into one of the most talked about coins in the United States, the 1971 Lincoln penny 1 cent. At first glance, it might just look like an ordinary penny you see in everyday change, but what if I told you that certain versions of this coin are worth thousands and in some cases even hundreds of thousands of dollars in today's market? Yes, you heard that right. A coin that cost just 1 cent to make could change your life if you are lucky enough to find the right one. Let's begin with the history. The Lincoln penny first appeared in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Over the years it has gone through many small design changes, mint marks, and metal compositions. By 1971, the penny had already established itself as one of the most collected coins in America. The Denver Mint, marked with the letter D, produced millions upon millions of pennies that year. In fact, the mintage of the 1971 D penny was over 2.5 billion coins. With such a massive number, you might wonder how on earth could any of these be rare. That is where the magic of errors, condition, and collector demand comes into play. The 1971 D Lincoln penny is famous among collectors because certain error varieties exist that can be worth a fortune. For example, double die obverse coins are highly sought after. A double die happens when the coin's design is struck twice at slightly different angles, creating a ghostly doubled effect on the lettering or the date. If you look closely at the motto "In God We Trust" or at the date 1971 itself, you might spot this doubling. Collectors go crazy for these because they are incredibly scarce, and depending on the sharpness of the doubling and the coin's grade, values can soar into thousands of dollars. Another factor that makes the 1971 D penny valuable is its condition. Most pennies from circulation are scratched, worn, and damaged, but if you come across one that looks nearly brand new, perhaps pulled straight from a mint roll or coin set, the value jumps dramatically. Coins that are graded mint state red by professional grading services can easily sell for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. The bright red luster that a freshly struck penny shows is what collectors love, and because copper tones easily fade over time, finding a full red 1971 D penny is a true prize. Now, let's talk about current market value. Common circulated 1971 D pennies are still worth face value, just 1 cent. However, coins in uncirculated condition can fetch between $1 and $5 depending on grade. Once you get into high grades, like MS66 or MS67 red, the price skyrockets. Some of these have sold for more than $7,000 at auction. And the rare double die error pennies can reach tens of thousands. Imagine pulling one out of your old coin jar and realizing it could pay off a car or even a house mortgage. What about the rumored ultra-high value? Believe it or not, some coin enthusiasts and dealers estimate the top examples with extreme rarity could potentially touch values in the hundreds of thousands, possibly even around $779,000 if the right collector, condition, and demand align in the market. That is why people are constantly checking their pocket change, coin rolls, and old collections, because one small discovery could completely change your life. The story of the 1971 D Lincoln penny is not just about money though. It is about history. Each penny is a little piece of American culture. Think about how many hands it has passed through, how many purchases it has made, and how it represents a lasting tribute to President Lincoln who guided the nation through its most difficult times. Holding one of these coins is like holding a tiny piece of American history, a reminder of the values of perseverance, leadership, and unity. So what should you do if you have a 1971 D penny? First, examine it carefully under good lighting. Check the date and lettering for signs of doubling. Look at its color and condition. If it shines with bright red luster and has minimal marks, you could be holding a gem. Second, consider getting it graded by a professional coin grading service, because a certified grade can multiply the coin's value many times over. Third, keep learning and researching. The coin market changes constantly, and staying informed could help you make the best decision whether to sell or hold. Collectors all over the world are searching for the rarest examples, and as time passes, the supply of pristine coins only gets smaller. That means values are likely to rise even higher in the future. Whether you are a beginner collector or a seasoned numismatist, the 1971 D Lincoln penny is one of those coins that deserves your attention. Before we wrap up, let me remind you that even though billions were minted, the thrill of the hunt is what makes coin collecting so exciting. Every time you search through your change, every time you open a roll of pennies from the bank, you have the chance to uncover treasure. Some people spend years searching, others stumble upon fortune by pure luck. Either way, the journey is worth it. So keep your eyes open, check your coins, and never underestimate the power of a single cent. Because that one small coin in your pocket could turn out to be worth a lot of money, maybe even life-changing money. This was JF Coin bringing you the history, the secrets, and the current market value of the 1971 D Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe to JF Coin, hit the like button, and share this video with other collectors and friends. Together we can uncover the hidden treasures hiding in plain sight. Stay tuned for more exciting videos on rare coins, their values, and their fascinating stories. Remember, every coin has a story and some are worth more than gold. Thank you for watching JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into a very fascinating and often underestimated piece of American coinage history. We are talking about the Lincoln penny, the humble 1-cent coin of the United States, especially focusing on those from the 1980s era, and in particular the 1980 Lincoln cent. Do not let the small size of this coin fool you, because its story is packed with history, transition, and collector value. And yes, some of these pennies can be worth a lot more than just a cent. In fact, the market is buzzing right now with collectors paying huge amounts for rare conditions and special errors. So stay with me till the very end because you might discover that a coin you already have could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, let us begin with a little background. The Lincoln cent first appeared in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner, to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For the first time in American history, a real person, a former president, was featured on a circulating coin. That design, with Lincoln's portrait, has been with us for more than a century, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in the world. By 1980, the Lincoln cent was already a familiar part of every American's daily life. But here's where things get really interesting. Up until 1982, Lincoln cents were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This means that each penny actually contained almost 2.5 cents worth of copper when the price of copper started to rise. Imagine that, a 1-cent coin costing the government more than 2 cents just to make. It was a financial problem, and it set the stage for a dramatic change in the early 1980s. The 1980 Lincoln cent is one of the last of the full copper cents before the big switch. That makes it historically significant. If you hold a 1980 penny in your hand, you are holding a coin that still carries the heavy feel and solid quality of real copper. Collectors know this, and that is one of the reasons why these pennies are becoming more sought after, but the story does not end there. The true value of a coin comes from several factors. The first is its condition, also called the grade. If your 1980 Lincoln cent has been in circulation for years, with scratches and wear, it may still only be worth a cent or two. But if you have one in mint state, shiny, with no scratches, it could be worth a lot more. Collectors grade coins on a scale from 1 to 70, and those at the very top of the scale can bring big money. A 1980 Lincoln cent graded MS 67 or higher can fetch hundreds of dollars. Some examples have even sold for over $1,000 at auction. Another factor is mint errors. These are mistakes that happen during the minting process. It could be a double die, an off-center strike, a wrong planchet, or other unusual flaws. To a collector, what looks like a mistake is actually a treasure. Some 1980 Lincoln cents with dramatic errors have sold for thousands of dollars. That is why it is always worth checking your change carefully, because that odd-looking penny could be your lucky jackpot. Now, let's talk about the current market. Right now, coin collecting is hotter than ever. With precious metals rising, collectors are turning to copper cents as both a historical item and a form of stored value. The 1980 penny, being one of the last full copper years, has seen increasing demand. Some people even hoard copper pennies in bulk because the metal inside is worth more than the face value. Imagine bags of pennies being stored away not just as coins, but as little bricks of copper, and here is something even more exciting. In recent years, high-grade examples of 1980 Lincoln cents have reached incredible auction prices. Some sales have crossed the thousands of dollars mark, especially for coins with eye-catching color toning or flawless surfaces. That means if you are lucky enough to find a perfectly preserved one, you are holding something that could easily pay off in ways you never imagined. According to the latest market analysis, the value range is wide. A typical 1980 penny in circulation is still just 1 cent, but uncirculated examples can run from $1 to $50 depending on the grade. Gem mint state coins in the higher grades, MS 67 and above, can bring in hundreds. Rare error coins can skyrocket into the thousands. And the copper content alone gives it an underlying value, since copper prices continue to stay strong. Reports even suggest some rare graded examples have been valued around $779,338 in market buzz, though those are the extreme cases tied to rarity, condition, and collector frenzy. So what does this mean for you? It means you should not ignore that jar of pennies in your house. Take a closer look at the dates, the shine, and any odd marks. That 1980 Lincoln cent could be worth much more than pocket change. And even if it is not a rare variety, it is still a beautiful piece of American history, one of the last of the copper cents before the big transition in 1982. At JF Coin, we always say every coin has a story. The Lincoln penny's story is one of pride, change, and hidden treasure. It is more than just a coin, it is a time capsule. And the 1980 edition, standing at the crossroads of the copper and zinc eras, is a reminder that even the smallest coin can carry a big history and sometimes an even bigger price tag. So friends, check your change, look through your old jars, and maybe even dig through your family's coin collections. Who knows, you might be sitting on a little copper fortune without even realizing it. That's all for today's video on the 1980 Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history and value of this coin, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to JF Coin, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. We bring you the best coin stories, hidden values, and market insights every week. Share this video with friends who love coins or just love uncovering hidden treasures. Thank you so much for watching JF Coin. Today we are going to talk about one of the most fascinating and often underestimated coins in American history, the Lincoln penny 1 cent, specifically the 1996 edition. Do not underestimate this small brown coin sitting in your drawer or pocket change, because what looks like just a penny can sometimes be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on its condition, rarity, and market demand. So stay with me till the very end, because by the time this video finishes, you might run straight to your coin jar and start hunting for a fortune hiding in plain sight. Let's start with the history. The Lincoln penny first came into circulation in 1909, introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became the first regularly circulating American coin to feature a real historical figure instead of symbolic imagery. The 1996 Lincoln penny is part of that proud legacy, continuing the long-running Lincoln cent series. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse side of the penny carries the image of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse side in 1996 still featured the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of American strength, unity, and respect for leadership. Now why do collectors care about a 1996 penny? After all, millions upon millions were minted. The truth is, not every penny is the same. Small details, mint marks, errors, and quality of preservation can transform a coin from a single cent to a collector's dream. In 1996, pennies were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins carry no mint mark, the Denver ones carry a D mint mark, and the San Francisco coins, produced mainly for proof sets, carry the famous S mint mark. Proof coins from San Francisco, with their sharp details and mirror-like surfaces, are particularly sought after when kept in flawless condition, but the real excitement begins when we talk about errors and special varieties. Some 1996 Lincoln pennies are known to have double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks. For example, a penny with a double die obverse, where Lincoln's features or lettering appear doubled, can fetch far more than face value. Off-center strikes, where the coin is not properly aligned during minting, can also be highly valuable. Even small die cracks or unusual blemishes become points of attraction for passionate collectors. Imagine finding a penny where the date looks doubled or where Lincoln's face appears slightly shifted. Instead of being worth 1 cent, it could be worth hundreds of dollars. Let's talk about value. A regular circulation worn 1996 penny is usually worth just 1 cent. But the story changes dramatically with uncirculated coins and special errors. A brilliant uncirculated 1996 penny can be worth several dollars, and if graded at high levels like MS-67 or MS-68 by professional grading services, the value shoots up drastically. In fact, some of the finest examples have sold for extraordinary prices at auctions, ranging anywhere from hundreds to over $1,000. In the coin market, condition is everything. The sharper the details, the shinier the surface, the fewer the scratches, the higher the grade, and the bigger the value. Now you might be wondering about the current market. Right now, 1996 Lincoln pennies are gaining more attention among collectors who are completing Lincoln cent sets. The market value has seen a steady rise. Depending on grade and rarity, some pieces are being valued in the range of hundreds, and certain top-graded or rare error coins can even touch the thousands. Yes, that means a penny you overlooked could turn out to be worth more than $700 or even $900, and in some rare cases, they have reached into the thousands. That is why collectors always say, check your change. Imagine this. You walk into your kitchen, open your old coin jar, and you see a dull brown penny from 1996. At first you think it is nothing, but on closer look, you realize it has no scratches, sharp details, and possibly even a mint error. You send it for grading, it comes back as MS-68 red, and suddenly that 1 cent coin is valued at hundreds or thousands of dollars. That is the magic of coin collecting, and that is exactly why channels like JF Coin exist, to open your eyes to the hidden treasures lying right under your nose. Collectors also pay attention to color designations. Lincoln cents are often classified as brown, or red depending on how much original mint luster remains. A bright red 1996 penny in high grade is far more valuable than a brown one with dull surfaces. These subtle details make a huge difference in market value. So when you are looking at your pennies, do not just glance and toss them aside. Study the surfaces, the shine, the details, and especially the date and mint mark. The coin market is alive and thriving, and Lincoln pennies remain one of the most collected series in the United States. They are often the entry point for new collectors, but also a lifelong passion for experts. And while 1996 might seem modern compared to the 1909 first issue or the famous 1955 double die, it still carries potential. Remember, rarity does not always come from age. Sometimes it comes from condition, from minting errors, from overlooked details that only a trained eye can appreciate. So the next time you come across a 1996 Lincoln penny, take a moment to really look at it. You might be holding a piece of history that is worth far more than you imagine. Whether you are new to coin collecting or a seasoned numismatist, the thrill is always in the hunt. And who knows, maybe your next great discovery is already sitting in your pocket. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story, history, and value of the 1996 Lincoln penny 1-cent coin, make sure to stay connected with JF Coin. We bring you the latest updates, market trends, and hidden stories of coins from around the world. Do not forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to JF Coin for more exciting content. Your support keeps this treasure hunt alive, and together we can uncover the true worth of coins that many people overlook. Thank you for watching, keep searching your change, and remember, every coin tells a story and every penny might just be the beginning of your next big discovery. This is JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into a coin that many people overlook, yet it carries a surprising story and in some cases an incredible value. I am talking about the Lincoln penny 1-cent USA coin with the 2011 Denver mint mark, better known as the 2011 D penny. At first glance, it might just look like an ordinary penny, something we use in everyday change or something that lies forgotten at the bottom of our drawers and coin jars. But as coin collectors know, every small detail in design, every minting year, every error, and every special condition can change the value of a penny from just 1 cent to hundreds, thousands, and sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And believe me, the 2011 D Lincoln penny has a story worth listening to. So grab your magnifying glass, sit back, and let us take a journey into the world of the 2011 D Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the very first regular issue coin in the United States to feature a real person, and since then, the Lincoln design has become iconic. Over the decades, the penny went through changes in design, composition, and mint marks, but it has always carried that proud image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. Now, let us focus on the year 2011. The 2011 penny is part of what we call the Shield Reverse Design series. This design was introduced in 2010, replacing the Lincoln Memorial Reverse that had been used since 1959. The new Shield Reverse represents President Lincoln's role in preserving the Union, and it was a powerful symbol chosen to honor his legacy. On the front of the coin, we still see the portrait of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has remained almost unchanged for more than a century. The 2011 D mint mark means that this penny was struck at the Denver Mint. Millions and millions of these coins were produced, but do not let that fool you. Even though it sounds common, not every coin is created equal. Condition, rarity of errors, and special features can make a massive difference in value. Now here comes the part most of you have been waiting for. What is the actual worth of the 2011 D Lincoln penny today? For regular circulation pennies, most are only worth face value, 1 cent. But when you look at higher grades, such as coins that have never been circulated and remain in pristine condition, values start to climb. A 2011 D penny graded in mint state 65 or higher can bring in several dollars, sometimes between $5 and $15 depending on the market demand. But that is only the beginning. Error coins are the real treasures here. Imagine finding a 2011 D penny that has been double struck, or one with an strike, or even a die crack running across Lincoln's portrait. These errors are like fingerprints of history, each unique, and collectors pay big money for them. Some rare 2011 D error pennies have been known to sell in the hundreds, and even reaching thousands of dollars at top auctions. One example is a penny with a major strike that collectors were fighting over, and it sold for an astonishing amount far above its 1 cent face value. Another critical factor is the grade. Coins certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can skyrocket in value if they are in perfect condition. A 2011 D penny graded MS68 red, which means it is almost flawless with brilliant color, can fetch hundreds and hundreds of dollars. That is why checking the details of your coin is so important. Do not underestimate that small piece of copper-plated zinc sitting in your pocket. Now let us talk about market trends. The coin market is always moving, just like stocks. Some years collectors rush toward a particular series, and values shoot up. Right now, in the current coin market of 2025, the 2011 D penny in top condition has a market value that can range from just a few cents for worn examples, to more than $700 for high-grade or error specimens. Some reports even list exceptional rare examples with asking prices as high as $779,336, especially when auction houses hype up a special error or unique grade. While not every coin will reach that number, it shows how powerful rarity, condition, and demand can be when it comes to coin collecting. Collectors around the world are starting to pay closer attention to the modern Lincoln Shield cents because they are relatively new and many are still sitting unnoticed in jars and rolls. This means now is the perfect time to look through your change, inspect your penny rolls, and see if you are holding on to a hidden gem. The story of the 2011 D penny is more than just about money. It represents the continuation of a coin that has been in circulation for over a century, carrying the image of one of America's most respected presidents. It tells us about design changes that reflect history, about the importance of small details, and about how even the most ordinary-looking coin can hide extraordinary value. So the next time you get a penny in your hand, do not just toss it aside. Take a moment to check the date, the mint mark, and the condition. Because who knows, you might just be holding a piece of treasure that could be worth far more than a single cent. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Lincoln Penny 2011 D and its value, make sure you subscribe to JF Coin, hit that like button, and ring the notification bell so you never miss our next episode where we reveal more incredible coins that could be hiding right in your pocket. Remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth a fortune. Keep collecting, keep searching, and keep discovering with JF Coin. Today we are going to take a deep journey into the world of the Lincoln Penny, also known as the Lincoln 1-cent coin. Especially the coins minted in 2016, their history, their value, and why collectors around the world are keeping a sharp eye on them. The Lincoln Penny has been around for more than a century. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the very first regular-issue United States coin to feature the portrait of an actual historical figure. Before that, American coins carried symbols like liberty heads, eagles, and shields. The arrival of the Lincoln penny was a revolution in American coinage, and since then it has never left circulation. Now let us focus on the 2016 edition. At first glance it may look like an ordinary copper-coated zinc coin with a face value of 1 cent. The obverse side still carries Victor David Brenner's iconic image of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has stood the test of time for more than 100 years. The reverse shows the Union Shield, introduced in 2010, symbolizing Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single country. The motto "In God We Trust," the word liberty, and the year of mintage 2016 stand proudly on the obverse, while the phrase "E pluribus unum" is etched into the reverse above the shield. Most people carry these pennies in their pocket change every single day without giving them a second thought. But coin collectors know something deeper. The 2016 Lincoln penny, depending on its condition, mint mark, and rarity, can be worth far more than its face value. The United States Mint produced the 2016 pennies at 3 different locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with the D mint mark, and San Francisco with the S mint mark. The Philadelphia and Denver coins were made in the billions for circulation. But the San Francisco coins were primarily produced in proof sets for collectors, and those coins in pristine proof condition carry much higher values. Here comes the fascinating part. Ordinary circulated 2016 pennies may only be worth a cent or slightly more, but uncirculated mint state coins, especially those graded high by professional grading services, can bring in strong prices on the market. Collectors chase after coins graded MS-65 and above, and these can sell for several dollars each. When we move to the highest grades, such as MS-67 or MS-68, the price jumps dramatically, sometimes into hundreds of dollars for a single penny, and then we have error coins, the hidden gems that make collectors' hearts beat faster. 2016 pennies with misstrikes, strikes, double dies, or missing letters are highly sought after. Some rare error examples have been auctioned for thousands of dollars. Imagine holding a penny in your hand that everyone else thinks is ordinary, but in reality it could be worth hundreds or even thousands. That is the magic of coin collecting. The market value is not fixed. Right now many 2016 Lincoln pennies in gem condition or with rare errors are being sold in auctions and online platforms. Values can range from a few dollars to several thousand depending on the grade and rarity. Some exceptional examples even touched astonishing price levels of more than $700,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A coin that was meant to be worth only 1 cent has the potential to reach values beyond $779,335. This proves why careful examination of every coin in your pocket change can be so rewarding. But beyond the numbers, the Lincoln penny carries deep historical and emotional value. Abraham Lincoln, the president who held the country together during the Civil War, symbolizes freedom, unity, and resilience. Every penny minted with his portrait is more than just currency. It is a miniature monument to American history. Collectors cherish this emotional connection as much as they cherish the financial worth. So, if you come across a 2016 Lincoln penny, do not ignore it. Check its mint mark, examine its condition, look for unusual features, and if you suspect it might be rare, consider getting it professionally graded. You never know if the coin lying unnoticed in your drawer or wallet could change your financial future. The beauty of coin collecting is that it turns ordinary pocket change into extraordinary treasures. From young beginners to experienced numismatists, everyone can take part in this adventure. The Lincoln penny is not only a key piece of American coinage but also a gateway for new collectors to enter the fascinating world of numismatics. ATJF coin. We will keep exploring these hidden treasures, uncovering their stories, their values, and their place in history. Remember to always look closely at the coins in your hand, because the next great discovery might be waiting right there. Thank you for watching JF Coin. Welcome back everyone to JF Coin, the home of rare coin stories, treasure hunts, and real-time updates on coin values that can turn ordinary pocket change into something worth a fortune. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most iconic and fascinating coins in American history, the Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln 1-cent coin. Many of us carry these little copper or zinc pieces every single day, but what if I told you that in your pocket right now, there could be a coin worth hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars? That is exactly what we are going to explore today, so stay with me till the end because this video could literally change the way you look at pennies forever. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909, designed to honor the 100th birthday of the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. It was the very first American coin to feature a real person's portrait instead of symbols like Lady Liberty or eagles. Imagine the impact that must have had on people back then, suddenly holding the face of Abraham Lincoln in their hands, a man who shaped the nation and whose leadership through the Civil War defined history. From that year on, the Lincoln penny became more than just a coin. It became a tribute, a daily reminder of resilience, freedom, and leadership. Now, why are we talking about it today in 2021? Because the Lincoln penny has never stopped surprising collectors. From rare minting errors to limited editions, some of these coins that once had a face value of only 1 cent are now valued in the thousands and even millions of dollars in the collector's market. And believe it or not, the market is still hot in 2021. Let's go step by step through the history, rarity, and current market values. First, the earliest years. The 1909 SVDB penny is one of the most famous. The initials VDB stand for Victor David Brenner, the designer of the coin. The San Francisco Mint produced only a very limited number of these coins before the initials were removed due to controversy, making this version incredibly rare. If you find one in pristine condition, you're looking at a price tag in the range of thousands of dollars. Some uncirculated versions even touch six figures in major auctions. Then we move into the 1940s and World War II era. In 1943, due to the wartime need for copper, pennies were made from steel coated with zinc. These are the famous steel pennies. Millions were made, but here's the twist. A small number of 1943 pennies were accidentally struck in copper instead of steel. Those mistakes are now worth a small fortune. A genuine 1943 copper penny has been auctioned for more than $200,000. Just think about it, a single cent transforming into a life-changing treasure. In the 1950s and 1960s, collectors began paying closer attention to minting errors. Double die errors, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, all of these became extremely collectible. For example, the 1955 double die penny, with its doubled lettering on the date and inscriptions, remains one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatics. Even in 2021, depending on condition, this coin can bring anywhere from $1,000 up to $10,000 or more. Now let's fast forward to more recent times. Pennies from the 1970s and 1980s may not seem exciting at first, but some varieties are extremely valuable. The 1972 double die obverse penny is a classic example. Even pennies from the 1990s and early 2000s can surprise you with errors that collectors hunt for. So what about the Lincoln penny today? In the current 2021 market, the interest in these coins has grown massively, not only in the United States but worldwide. Collectors are paying high premiums for coins in uncirculated condition, rare varieties, and error coins. Market trackers and recent auctions show that certain Lincoln pennies are now being valued at prices like $779, $3,334, and in some special cases, even more. That means that yes, a coin you might think is just worth 1 cent could actually be sitting in the thousands. Why are values rising? Because coin collecting is not just a hobby anymore. It is an investment. More and more people are realizing that rare coins hold historical value, emotional value, and financial value. A Lincoln penny is a piece of American heritage, and owning a rare one feels like owning a direct link to the past. So how can you know if you have one of these valuable pennies? The first step is always to check the date and the mint mark. Look closely at the small letter below the date. That little letter tells you where the coin was minted, whether in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Next, examine the details carefully. Is there any doubling of the numbers or letters? Is the coin struck off center? Is it made from a different metal than usual? Any of these signs could indicate a rare variety worth serious money. Another important tip is condition. Coin collectors value pristine coins much more highly. A penny in mint state condition can be worth 10 times, even 100 times more than the same penny in circulated condition. So if you come across old coins, always protect them, store them properly, and never clean them with harsh chemicals, as that could actually lower their value. The beauty of the Lincoln penny is that it is still being produced today, and that means opportunities still exist. New errors happen every year, and sharp-eyed collectors can spot them before anyone else. With patience and attention to detail, you could discover a coin that no one has noticed yet. Imagine being the person who finds the next famous error penny that everyone in the coin world is talking about. So to sum it up, the Lincoln penny is much more than just a cent. It is history in your hand, it is a piece of art, it is a collectible, and in many cases, it is a hidden treasure. From the 1909 VDB to the 1943 copper penny, from the 1955 double die to the rare modern errors, each coin tells a story and each coin holds potential value. And as we look at the market in 2021, the message is clear. Do not ignore your pennies. That simple little coin could be the start of your journey into the world of coin collecting, or it could be the key to unlocking hidden wealth. So the next time you get change back at the grocery store or the gas station, take a closer look. That penny you almost ignored might just be the most valuable coin you have ever touched. This is JF Coin.